so they got the Charles Woodson in here. Oh, bro, Harbaugh and Shane Buckler. All right, Marlon, appreciate you for coming on.
Yeah, man, thanks for having me.
All right, let's get into it, man. What's up, y'all? This is the first official podcast episode of Champ Media. I'm Mikey Keene. This is my friend
Marlin Klein.
Yes, sir. So we're just gonna get this thing rolling. Basically, what Champ Media is to try and be a filter between the student athletes and the fan base. Give you all a little bit of insight on what we're doing outside of the game, inside the game. Give you some details behind the scenes. Not too much, obviously, but give you a little rundown of who we are off the field. And a more personal interaction because you guys see us in the helmets and on the sidelines every Saturday, but there's a lot more days in the year other than the 12 Saturdays that you get guaranteed a year. Hopefully a lot more for us this year. So Champ Media is doing just that, giving us as athletes a platform to be able to share our stories. And I'll be the host of this show, talking with some guys for the team, hitting on some key performances. So every week after every game, we'll be touching back in, recapping what happened the week before, talking about what's to come. But it'll be a very interactive experience. I think that it should be super cool for the fans to be able to get involved with this. And yeah, I'll kind of go into my journey, how I got here. We'll get going with Marlon here soon, but kind of just giving a little introduction as well. Started my career at the University of Central Florida, stayed there for 2 years, transferred to Fresno State, was there for another 2 years. Actually, I played at the Big House last year, was on the opposing side of that. So I've got my memories here already. Looking forward to making some new ones this year, being cheered for. But no, it's been a blessing to be here so far. Been a very unique experience. Obviously had the opportunity to come here as a graduate student, a grad transfer to bring some experience and depth in the quarterback room. The quarterback room is great for me so far. So I'm just excited for this opportunity to be able to compete here. This is a beautiful place to be. So just excited to be here once again. So we'll get going, kind of give a little introduction with Marlon and get his story, talk about some things that are some big news that's been happening, the recent development of the game in Germany next year, and then we'll just keep it going from there, talk about some personal stuff. Just keep it rolling. So without further ado, introducing Marlon Klein. He introduced himself earlier, but just asking Marlon, give a little introduction, how you kind of got here, how your experience has been as a Michigan Wolverine.
Yeah, thanks for having me, first of all. My name is Marlon Klein. What's up, y'all? Number 17, senior tight end here at the University of Michigan. First of all, just super excited for this year's team. And it'll be so fun to watch for you guys, and it'll be so much fun for us on Saturdays especially. We're really going back to 2019. Obviously, maybe some of you guys know. Maybe you don't. Grew up in Germany, born and raised there. When I moved in 2019, I was 16 years old. Really didn't know what I was getting myself into. Was really just interested in the game of football. When I was 14, 15, I started playing. But obviously, it's not, nobody plays football overseas. Everybody plays soccer. Grew up playing soccer for like 12 years with all my cousins. That's just what you do. Nobody plays baseball, basketball, all that stuff. So
some big-ass soccer player.
Yeah. And that's really when I realized, it wasn't for me. I was good. I was always the fastest and all that stuff. But I knew I wanted to do something else. I wanted to be different. And that's kind of how I have always been since I was, really young. I was always the tallest kid, the fastest. So, I knew I didn't belong into the normal footsteps that everybody else is stepping into. So I ended up making that decision with my dad, who I'm so fortunate that he knew a coach back then, who's really running the team, Cologne Crocodiles, which is our club team back in the city where I grew up. So he took me to a practice. They came up to my dad, told him I was pretty good at it. So they wanted me on the team, and that was really go time for me. I started playing football then. Played for the all-state teams, national team, and all that stuff. And then I knew I needed to take that next step if I really wanted football to be my thing,
Right.
and not just kind of a hobby kind of deal for me.
Mm-hmm.
So one of my coaches called me one day and was like, "Hey, like I know this guy named Bjorn Warner who's got this nonprofit organization called Gridiron Imports, who pretty much they help kids from Europe get to high schools in the U.S."
So it's like an agency kind of?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
So Bjorn Warner, kind of background on him, kid from Berlin who's the capital city of Germany, moved to Massachusetts. I don't remember what school, but went to high school there. Was a pretty highly recruited guy. Went to Florida State, won ACC Defensive Player of the Year and all that stuff. Got drafted the first round to the Colts. And after his playing days were over, he moved back to Germany and started this nonprofit organization to help kids like me.
You give that guy the keys to the city.
Yeah, pretty much.
Trailblazer.
And,
holy shit.
yeah, now he's the face of the NFL Germany as that continues to grow, and I'm sure we'll talk about that later.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so he hosted a camp, and my coach took me, and I didn't really know what I was getting myself into.
Right.
To be honest, I woke up, got in the car, went there, and it was a prospect camp where I think they had like 10 to 15 high school coaches there.
Yeah.
So performed, and I was told I was good enough to play in the U.S., which I didn't really know what that meant, but I was just pumped. Went back home, told my mom and dad, "Hey, I'm moving to the U.S.," and they looked at me crazy-eyed,
Yeah.
which honestly, like, it's pretty understandable.
That's a big move.
Yeah, so, and then we didn't really hear anything about it for like 1 or 2 days, and I was like, maybe, I don't know, what the deal is with that.
Yeah.
But then the emails started flowing in, and they started emailing my parents, "Hey, here's sign up, application, all that stuff." And I think that's when I knew it was kind of, the real deal.
Like, oh shit moment. Like,
yeah,
this is the real deal.
There actually is a chance that I'm about to move to the U.S. in about, a couple months.
So how old are you at this point?
So at this point, I'm 15 years old.
How big were you then?
Not as big as now.
Not as big as now. Right? Not as big as now. I didn't say this freaking 6'7" guy showing up, lacing up his soccer cleats.
Yes, when I moved here, and me and my high school coach, when I was just back down in Georgia for the 4th of July, we were talking about it. I got here and I was 6'4", 174. Little guy.
Receiver.
Yeah, little guy. So, really shout out to my parents for never really, besides that one day when I got home and, they looked at me crazy. I never no, you're not going to the U.S. You're 15 years old. Like, we're not going to do that. But yeah, after the email started flowing in, you're like throughout my career, they've been nothing but supportive of me. They've helped me with everything, and my dad was really into, if that's what you want to do, then we're going to do it, and we're not going to quit. So they helped me do all of it. Ended up deciding to go to Raven Gap, which was a pretty small private school. Wasn't really a big football school in the North Georgia mountains. And and then August came, hopped on that plane, not really thinking, and landed in Georgia in the middle of nowhere. And first of all, realized I don't speak English.
Yeah.
So I was cooked.
No doubt. I mean, I think about like a move to, and I always try and use it as like a flex. Like, I went from Arizona when I was 17. I went from Arizona to UCF, and I had the whole COVID experience, so I didn't get to take a visit or nothing. And I had to go from Arizona to Florida on my own, and I was young and I was afraid and all this stuff. But then I heard your story, and it's cool getting to get like a more in-depth perspective of your story, because obviously we hang out and stuff, but I haven't really gotten to hear the whole nuance of it, and that's what kind of everyone says. And I know you've done a lot of interviews and stuff, and you've said that it's gotten kind of repetitive, but it's pretty cool. It's crazy to think about, because all of the stuff, the moving and internally within the states is one thing, but your thing is a completely different deal, and it's a crazy amount of respect to you and to your parents, your support system, for allowing you to do that, because a lot of kids probably get in the situation where they have the opportunity to, but their parents aren't as willing to let that opportunity come. Yeah,
and honestly, and that's going back, and I tell my parents that every time I go home, I'll probably be, I don't know what I would be doing back here. Yeah. And we always talk about joking around, maybe I would be working construction, who knows, who knows what I would be doing. Only God knows, but that was God's plan. And really just so thankful and really blessed that I got this opportunity to, first of all, change my life and hopefully change my family's life here soon. But yeah, so whenever I moved, I think one of the luckiest things about this whole transition was there wasn't a lot of space from, there wasn't a lot of time between that camp and me actually getting on that plane. Otherwise, it probably, I would have probably more thoughts about, do I actually want to do that?
Exactly. You'd have been sitting there.
Maybe I would have thought about, hey, like, I actually don't speak English. Maybe I shouldn't move to a country where they speak a language that I do not, have a clue about. But yeah, so I moved here and really was on my own.
Yeah.
It was a boarding school, so had a roommate, lived by myself, had to figure out how to do laundry, do the dishes. Mama wasn't around. So it was tough, but it turned me into a man real quick, and it was the best experience of my life, and really what I needed, I think. And there's been so many blessings that just came along on that journey. Started playing there then. I had a pretty good sophomore year, and I got my first offer from Arizona State after like week 3.
The ASU was the first offer?
Yeah.
What year was that?
So that was 2019. That was
That was 2019. Okay.
Yeah. It was,
Chip wasn't there. Chip used to coach our offensive coordinator, Chip Lindsey. He was at Arizona State for a little stint. I think he was the head coach at Troy at that point. So it must have been, it was Todd Graham
I don't remember who it is.
Todd Graham or Herm Edwards?
Herm Edwards.
It was Herm, okay,
I remember FaceTiming him. But so my school was so small, like nobody's ever come out of that school.
Yeah.
Like we've had kids go to, like go to theater programs and all that kind of stuff. That's kind of, it was really a theater, like performing arts kind of school, which has changed now. I mean, they sign, 5 to 10 guys to Division I colleges every year now.
That's good. I mean,
which we started off.
Yeah.
7 in my year. So
that's good.
Coming out of nowhere. But yeah, so I remember talking to my high school coach, and he was like, hey, like, I just got a call from Herm Edwards. Like, he just offered you a scholarship.
Your coach is tripping.
And I was like, so what does that mean?
Yeah.
First of all, going back, when I left, I told my dad I'll be back in a year, kind of do an exchange year kind of deal, get some experience and all that stuff, which 3 weeks later, it turned into, all right, I'm going to have to graduate high school now, and I'm probably going to go to college, so I'll be gone for I'll see y'all in 7 years.
Yeah, you'll see. Now you're looking at the league, too. You're like,
so
all
now
right,
I'm like,
man.
oh, that looks pretty interesting. I kind of want to do that now.
Exactly.
So, and that's when I got, talking to my dad, and he was like, well, maybe you should, hopefully, ride it out and maybe get some other offers besides Arizona State. I don't know if I would like you to go there.
Exactly.
But yeah, so that was a real interesting deal when all that stuff happened and really went down. So then COVID hit. I had to leave the country, went back home. Obviously, everything shut down, school shut down, all that stuff. So, and then I was fortunate enough to get a call from Sharon Moore, who's now the head coach here at the University of Michigan, who back then was a tight ends coach. And he offered me a scholarship, and I knew, like, that was it. And then really everything started rolling down. Like, everybody kind of started offering me. And you know how recruiting goes.
I mean,
it takes one school out of a conference. Like, Michigan offered me, and here comes Nebraska, Michigan State, Wisconsin, all those schools just rolling in the day after.
You get one Twitter post going, and dude, they see that, and they start, just spreads like wow.
So it was kind of crazy, and it just kept coming at me, and I didn't really know how to handle it. And maybe didn't take it as serious, like, oh my gosh, that's a huge deal.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I didn't really, it all was happening so fast. And then, going to high school in Georgia, getting an offer from Georgia, especially at a school like that, was a huge deal. All my teachers and, everybody was pretty pissed when I committed to Michigan. But it's been the best decision of my life.
No doubt.
For all I care.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's been, I'm just super thankful to be here now. That's kind of my journey, how I got here, and really, what it took. Yeah.
So, like, kind of going to, like, the recruiting process and stuff, I know you said that the conversation with Michigan, I mean, obviously, like, it's a lot to take in, too, and you kind of don't really process it at once because, I mean, I was in the same boat, not with Big Ten schools, but I was, like, the group of fives and stuff like that, the American Conference and the Mountain West kind of just would roll along the offers, but that's how it goes for everyone, too. Like, once you start getting offered and during COVID, I mean, it was a crazy time because these schools really had no idea what was going to happen. They had to shut down their campuses. They had to shut down their camps for the summer, so they didn't know if guys were going to be committed early, and they didn't know if guys were going to come back and have that extra year of eligibility, which they ended up granting them. So all these question marks were happening, and they're like spamming, like throwing out offers and stuff, and it just kind of ended up working for some guys who had the hot hand, and you were obviously one of those guys who was fortunate, and I was as well. But kind of break it down, like the recruiting process. You talked about how Coach Moore was an influential piece of you being here, obviously. The head man now, is probably big for you, and it's big for us as a program. He's an amazing coach, has done a great job. Excited to see him do his thing this year in year 2. Talk about like Coach Harbaugh and some other intricate pieces, and then we'll transition into your relationship now with kind of Coach Kasula. But talk about the recruiting process and then how it's instilled and been carried through your experience here.
Yeah, I think for me, it really started off with when I moved to Georgia. First of all, like, I'm from Germany. There's no, like, you know, I want to be close to home. Like,
yeah, it's none of that.
I could have gone to Arizona. I could have gone to South Florida, you know, end up at Michigan. Like, wherever it was never about I want to be close to my family, because either way, no matter where I went, it was going to be far.
Right.
So that was never a factor for me. But really what my dad and my mom was telling me is try to find the best fit for you, not just on the field, but also off the field. So, and to be honest, like a lot of those schools that offered me really didn't provide me with that.
Yeah.
So I narrowed it down to some schools like Georgia, Michigan, Purdue, who really had that good academic program where I could still get that, you know, the degree,
right,
and take those classes and actually learn something off the field, and take stuff like that serious as well.
Yeah.
And don't just be the guy that, you know, goes to school for free and just plays football. So yeah, that was one of the biggest things for me, and it's quite the coincidence that Coach Moore is the head coach here now, which has just been awesome. Obviously, I've known this guy for quite a while now, since he called me back in early 2020. So. But yeah, thankful for him each and every single day. And but yeah, COVID was a crazy time.
Yeah.
I had to leave the country because my parents, you know, everybody in the world, everybody was scared what was gonna, you know, nobody knew what was gonna happen. And
right.
For parents, you know, or for family, I got 2 little siblings. To have their older brother or their son be on the other side of the world during a crisis like that, they just wanted me home because nobody knew what was going to happen, right?
Yeah.
So, our school system shut down, which meant the dorm shut down. For a kid from Germany, I couldn't just, you know, drive 20 minutes home and stay in my home. So I flew back home in the middle of the night. I think I stayed with one of my buddies, Joseph, with him and his parents, stayed with him for like 2 or 3 weeks. And I think I left at like 3 or 4 a.m. To catch a flight in Atlanta. His dad, Ken, drove me down to Atlanta 2.5 hours in the middle of the night.
Dude, shout out Joseph and his family.
Joseph and his family, Ken, they've done so much for me, you know, throughout my high school time when I was there. But yeah, so he drove me down to Atlanta, caught a flight, went back home, boom, the borders are shut.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, man, is this journey over? I was just getting hype about, you know, going to college.
You're like, I was going to Tempe, man.
Yeah, I got a couple months in here. And so I was pissed. I was like, man, like, I don't know, you know, what are the next steps here? So each and every single day, I'm checking, like, hey, like, when are the borders going to open up?
Back?
Calling everybody, like, calling in the U.S., calling in Germany, all that stuff. And I knew our season was going to start because Georgia, you know, they're a little different.
Yeah, 100%.
They don't, you know, with the mask and all the mandates. And, like, we were going to play football.
Yeah.
Like, it's, you know, SEC country. Like, we're going to play football no matter what.
Exactly.
And we ended up doing that. So I knew my season was going to start, and I think I ended up getting back to the U.S. maybe like 2 weeks before our first game.
Yeah.
The borders opened up, and I was on a flight that day. So it's like, all right, see y'all.
They were ready.
I've been home for long enough. Got to be home for like 3 months, but it wasn't a relaxing time where I said, you know, just sat with my family around and like just kicked it. Like that's just not what it was. It was each and every single day, like, all right, when can I go back? When can I go back? Like, I'm ready to go back.
Yeah.
So yeah, once those borders open up.
So I mean, I assume you were training out there and stuff too.
Yeah. But it's hard because it's not like the U.S. and that's why, you know, it'll take a while, and I know we'll get into it later with the international side and football. You know, the influence the game has overseas now, but you don't have those training facilities on every single corner. Like you don't have a turf field in each and every single corner.
I know. Shout out Valor.
Yeah, yeah. Like I wish we had Valor there.
Exactly.
We don't. Might have to talk to Mac and open one up over there.
A little international Valor.
Do something.
We'll
you know.
See.
But yeah, so that was tough. But I got my work in as good as I could, to be honest. But so when I moved back here, I was in it, and I was like, I'm not leaving the country for anything.
Yeah.
Like until they tell me to leave, I'll leave. But yeah, until then, like I was gonna stay here no matter what, which I did. And so yeah, it's just been awesome. The recruiting time was kind of, I know we talked about it earlier. Like when I committed to Michigan. So
when did you commit?
So got the offer 2019, early 2020, and then obviously everything was shut down.
Yeah.
So official visits, unofficial visits, all that stuff was shut down.
Yeah.
So then, all right, what am I gonna do? Like, I want to commit to the school, but like I'm gonna have to go visit. Like, I can't just commit to a school without like being there and like seeing stuff. So obviously you couldn't meet any coaches, none of that stuff. So lucky for me, Georgia was one of my top schools, and so it was Georgia and Michigan, and went down to Georgia, saw it.
Yeah.
Flew up here to Michigan. Just walking around campus, I landed, and I remember it, like this is my home. Like I knew the second I landed in Detroit, it was cold.
Yeah.
I knew that when I came up here, it really just reminded me of home, which was the easiest decision that I could have ever made. I thought it was gonna be much harder. But yeah, and then just looking at the history, the tight end history, the guys that were in that room who I was going to be able to learn from, like Luke Schoonmaker, Eric All, coming in with Colston Loveland, like all those guys that played in front of me, all those guys that were the reason I didn't start for the past like 2 years, or my first 2 years, they're all playing in the NFL.
Yeah.
So that was really one of the factors for me where I was like, all right, I'm going to go there, get the best education that I can get out of all my offers, and be developed by all those guys and the coaches that were here. That was like a no-brainer for me. So yeah, so I committed. I think it was my first week. I remember on my birthday, so it must have been like week 1 or 2 of my junior year.
Gotcha.
So it was one of the early guys. Like I didn't want to drag it on with the hat picking and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Just wanted to, I knew it. So I called Coach Harbaugh and Coach Moore, and I was like, hey, like I'm coming.
I hate that hat picking shit.
Yeah.
I can't stand it.
Yeah.
Sorry if anyone has done the hat picking stuff, but.
Nah.
Dudes are throwing hats. I'm like, bro, this is a college pro. You never know. You never know what bridge you're going to burn when you do something like that. Yeah. And it's on national TV and all this stuff. But I don't know. I wasn't a high profile guy like that. But kind of transitioning, I mean, your high school story is a hell of a story. I didn't even get into, I had so many more questions. How did you start speaking English? Did you have a translator with you? All this different stuff. But we'll transition kind of towards when you got to Michigan and really just open it up with the guys in that room that you were speaking about. And I mean, there's some high caliber dudes in there, like you were talking about. So really who kind of like took you under their wing, molded you, shaped you? I know Colston's been here the last couple of years, but your freshman year coming in, obviously it's everyone's first time getting into college and stuff, but who kind of really paved the path for you? You looked up as like a role model and kind of still look up to as that right now. Yeah,
I think, so growing up, I was always playing receiver. When I moved to the U.S., to Georgia, I was playing receiver. I mean, like we talked about it, I was 6'4", 170. I wasn't blocking a soul out there.
I gotcha.
Just toss it up and let me score.
Yeah, exactly.
So I didn't really know what I was getting myself into, but when I got here, I realized pretty quickly that those dudes that were in that room that I was sitting in each and every single day were some badasses.
Yeah.
And that's who I wanted to be. And so I spent as much time as I could with those guys in that room, which were Luke Schoonmaker, like Joel Honigford, Eric All. Came in with Colston. Brady was a year older. Matt Hipner, who's at SMU now and starting there. So like I really came in at the perfect time, which looking back was the perfect time.
100%.
But when I came in as a competitor, I mean, like none of us will be in this position, especially at a school like this, if we weren't competitive, right? Like we want to start, we want a big place, we want to be the hero, we want to win games. But yeah, so when I came in, it was tough.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't come in as a mid-year. Colson came in as a mid-year. So you already had 6 months ahead of me. We have those guys that because of COVID got those extra years. They're 29 years old, playing still playing college ball. So I'm like, man, like I want to play ball. Like
Yeah.
In those moments, like I was telling myself, like I'm ready. Looking back, I was not ready.
No.
Just like physically, like it takes a while, especially if you want to play tight end here at the University of Michigan. Like that's one of those positions where it's like you can't just come in and just play. There's like that's a 1%. Like Colston happened to be one of that 1%.
Yeah.
And so I was able to learn so many things from him as well. But again, like going back to that competitive mindset, like each and every single day, like even though all those guys were my boys, my best friends,
Mm-hmm.
it was still like we were competing with each other and we made each other better.
Right.
And I think that's one of the special things here at Michigan, that there's no like bad habits or like
like any animosity in the room.
Yeah. It's really like straight ahead. Like we're gonna work. I'm gonna kick your ass in a workout, but we're still gonna hang out later. And like whoever starts is really like we decide that.
Yeah.
And a lot of people decide think the coaches decide all that stuff. It's really you. Like how good can you play from Monday through Friday, and for your coaches to start you on Saturdays.
Right.
But yeah, so just so fortunate enough to get to Michigan, first of all, but then to be plugged into one of those rooms where I was surrounded by greatness.
Yeah.
Which in the end of the day, like really just rubbed that off on me, showed me the work ethic and really what it takes and what the Michigan standard is.
Yeah, no, I think that's a super unique position to be in, to play tight end for the University of Michigan. It's a different beast, and any tight end or any high school football player heading into college, it's definitely a bit of a transition, and there's areas of improvement, and there's where you simply just aren't big enough yet, or things like that. But I think that playing tight end in the Big Ten alone is one thing. Than playing tight end for this university, where they're kind of the backbone of the offense and a huge part of the team. It's been super special to see our tight ends and the way that we use them. I mean, I've never really had too many packages in 13 personnel, which means 3 tight ends on the field at one time. But we can do that here, and we can do it in a 2-deep roster because we got dudes here, and then we got fullbacks too. I mean, those guys are badass, like Brady and all them. But the versatility of the tight end position is, I wouldn't say slept on, but I would also say that it is, because not a lot of the non-ball knowers, I guess I could say that. It's kind of more of a slept on position. It's not as flashy. I mean, you have a mold of combination between a receiver as well as an offensive lineman. Like, you're an attachment and of the offensive line.
Yep.
And the things that you guys have to do in pass protection and what you guys have to do and sacrifice with your body, it's a lot of stuff. And I've gained a lot of respect just being here in my short time, because the positions that we put you guys in are not easy all the time, but you guys excel at them, and that's kind of why you see it translate.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, that tight end position, to be honest, when I moved to the U.S., I had no clue. You could ask me, what is a tight end?
I mean, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. You thought it was probably you probably thought it was like a freaky term or something.
Yeah, I don't know. I had no clue, but like, that's really all to say. Like, a lot of schools, a lot of fans, like you said, it's not the flashiest position. Like, we're not going to be scoring 4 touchdowns a game.
Yeah.
Like, we're not going to be on every poster. Like, that's fine. Like, at the end of the day, like, I'm going to put in the dirty work and whatever it takes to win a game for Michigan. And that's really getting into it, here a little early. Coach Kasula and Coach Newsom, who was my tight ends coach for the first 2 years here, who's now the offensive line coach, such a smart guy. And he's taught me so many things. And, Kasula has really kind of like reconstructed my whole playing style and really, still like fine-tuning all the things that I do on a daily basis. And that's been such a blessing, to be coached by guys like that really just have the best interests and are not fake.
Right.
And I think that's one of the things here at Michigan. Like, we're not here for the Cinderella story. Mm-hmm. We're not here for, we're going to make you feel good, pat you on the back, like none of that. Like, this is Michigan. There's a certain standard, and the standard is beating your rivals and winning a championship here.
No doubt.
And that's really, something that they preach each and every single day. And it's just been so fun, and really, like, it's not personal, but it is personal, you know?
Right.
So it's like, I know Coach Kasula, who's now our tight ends coach, like he can get on my ass.
For sure.
But it's probably for a good reason.
Yeah.
And it's not about, you know, he woke up, you know, hasn't had his coffee or whatever. Like he's just pissed and he wants to get on my ass. Like I know when he gets on my ass, there's a reason.
Yeah.
And it's probably, you know, something I did or definitely something I did.
No doubt.
But it's really just, you know, out of his best interest for me to make me the best version of myself to help this team win football games on Saturdays and win a championship for Michigan.
Yeah, I mean, Kasula is no stranger to ripping someone's ass, and his rips are E for everyone. But that's the thing that I respect about him most is he will shoot everyone straight, and I respect the heck out of that guy because he's a great football mind, and just seeing how he works with you guys has been super cool. And just having my own relationship with him as well. I mean, been in the head coaching job before at a different place, but he knows it. I mean, he's a great football mind. Contributes a heck of a lot to our offense. So super grateful to have him. But kind of transitioning now, you don't got to wait anymore. Like it's your time now. You are the guy going into this 2025 season. So how are you feeling with knowing that legacy of the Michigan tight ends and understanding that you got a chance to do something special here this year to beat your rivals, to win a championship, and then possibly give yourself a shot at the next level? I know that is obviously something that you would really like to do, and I mean, you got the build for it, you got the playing style for it. So I'm super excited for you, and I'm obviously biased because you're my boy, but at the same time, kind of give a little bit of insight of how you handle that on a day-to-day thing, and how you don't really let it be too much or make the moment too big, because it is a big deal to be the starting tight end at Michigan University or the University of Michigan. So kind of go into a little bit of detail about what that means to you and how you plan on carrying it forward and leaving your mark for the guys to come behind.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, to start off with, to answer your question, it means everything to me. You know, all the work that I've put in here throughout my years here, and you know, all those sacrifices that I have made in the past. You know, moving to the U.S. at 16, 15, leaving my family behind, having to learn all these new things, really starting life over again,
right?
In a complete different environment. It's really paying off now, and it started to pay off last year. But nobody's seen what kind of player I am. There's so much more in me that nobody's seen yet, but they will this year. But yeah, like I don't want to think, you know, too much ahead. And a lot of people will always ask me like, hey, like, what do you think? And, you know, you have 2 more years, like. I know you want to leave. Like, obviously, like, I think you shouldn't be at Michigan if your goal wasn't if your goal wasn't playing in the NFL and being the best version of yourself and the best player in the country at your position, you shouldn't be here at Michigan. 100%. Like, I don't want to sit in the locker room with guys that are just here for the ride, for, you know, the free gear. Like, I don't want to sit with, you know, I don't want to surround myself with guys like that.
For sure.
I want to surround myself with guys that, you know, don't talk about it, but act like it. Work their asses off each and every single day to make that happen. And I think that's the kind of team we have here at Michigan. It reminds me of the 23 team, which obviously won a national championship here.
Yeah.
But yeah, to answer your question, like I don't want to think ahead of, you know, where am I going to get drafted? Like, what city do I want to go to? Obviously, it's not in my hands anyways.
Not at all.
And, like, obviously, that's my goal. Like, that's what I want to do. That's what, you know, that's something I want to do for me and my family.
Yep.
I'd love to move my family here to the United States for a better life and, you know, just being together again. But I think, like I said, like I don't want to talk about the NFL too much. Obviously, that's my goal, and we'll talk about that here in, you know, November, December, whenever that time comes. But right now, my mindset is just being the best tight end in the country, and that's, you know, not for me. It's, you know, for this team, for the university, to win games, to go 12-0 in the regular season, go to the playoffs, win a national title, win a Big Ten title on the way, to beat our rivals, especially the team down south. Can't stand those guys, and I just want to, you know, be 4-0 against them before graduating. I have that opportunity, so I'm gonna make it count. I'm gonna do whatever it takes.
100%. No, I think that's a great perspective to have, and I mean, it can be a lot. Like, there's a lot of guys that feel that pressure for sure, but it's really out of your hands. And if you don't have the performance that you want and contribute into your process and put the time in with whatever that is every single day to make yourself better, it's not going to come to fruition. So having that ability to separate those things is super, super cool. You talked about trying to be able to move your family here. So I want to talk about a little opportunity that we got coming up for the next year. I won't be here. I got 1 year left, but you possibly could be here. A really cool opportunity and they're having the discussions of having the game in Germany. And if I'm not mistaken, is this the first college game in Germany?
Yeah, in Germany, yeah.
Okay.
It will be the first one. We've had a couple. I think we've had 2 NFL games now.
Yep.
Which has been, I didn't go to one because I've been here for the season, but all I've heard it's been outstanding. The people are welcoming. Like Tom Brady got to play there. Yeah, and he said it was out. Like, he just said it was outstanding.
I remember that. That's a pretty cool game though for fans in Germany to go. You don't have to really say it's hard to not sell tickets for a Tom Brady game. Shout out Michigan alum, but no, I think that it's a super cool opportunity that gets to happen, and we were talking about it too because I was excited for you. Obviously, if you're able to come back and play in that game, that would be sweet. I know your family's probably excited and hoping that you get to do that as well. But he said that the stadium is 75,000. Yeah, 75,000, and for the NFL game, there's 75,000 tickets that are available. And correct me if I'm wrong, but he said that there was over 8 million requests. Yeah, 8 million requests to get to that game for 75,000. So these Germans, they don't play around with their football.
They don't, and that's really like it really started. Like when I was, I think it was 2 years old. My dad, one of his friends, who's actually coming to see me. He's coming over here for the Purdue game with my dad. Sweet. But yeah, we went to a Cologne Centurions game, which was the NFL Europe. I don't know how many of you guys have heard about it.
Yeah, I got no idea.
But yeah, early 2000s, NFL Europe was a thing, and the game was growing and stuff. And then financially, I think they just couldn't handle it anymore. Right. And the game, it wasn't really worth it. Mm-hmm. So they just kind of stuck to soccer, which I think they're doing fine, doing that. But yeah, and I think for those requests, going back to what you were saying about the requests, I think that just shows you how much that game has grown through players like, myself and others that are now playing on the high school level, playing on the college level, and really representing not just Germany, but the UK, Finland, Sweden, wherever it is outside of the U.S. And I think that's one of the biggest parts, one of the biggest reasons why I'm doing this as well is really just showing, I wasn't a special soccer player. I wasn't the smartest student. I wasn't a 4.0 in high school, back home. Like we were talking about earlier, I have no clue what I would be doing right now. I could be, cleaning toilets. I could be, I don't know. I know. Working an office job.
Ripping cigs and working construction.
Drinking beer all day.
Yeah,
I have no
exactly.
Clue. We always joke about it when I'm home, my cousins. Because it would be fun working with all those guys together,
It'd be cool.
Yeah, I don't know, I think my life's pretty good here.
You go into, we get in this daily grind and stuff. We're getting ready for fall camp. It's a grind, to be a college football athlete, and you never are really wondering what else could you be doing, but at the same time you're always what if this didn't happen? And then you do all these hypotheticals and you're like, shit, what if I was doing that? I probably wish I was in the exact position that I am right now.
Yeah, honestly, it's God's plan. It's out of my hands, and whatever kind of happens for a reason. I think that I was put in this position for a reason, and one of those reasons is to spread awareness and spread the game, and grow a community. And really just bring the game overseas. Yeah. And continue to grow over there, because I think the game of football has a huge chance and opportunity overseas. Not to make a lot of money, but really just influence people, bring people together, and, just bring peace and happiness. And I think a game like that, going over there with Michigan would be so special. Yeah. I wish I did it this year.
100%.
But I might be here next year.
Yeah. So you think about it, and it's not as a common thing for a kid growing up in Germany to move to the States and do your whole hustle. Obviously, it's been done before, but there's also kids out there that kind of don't really know that could be their dream. And to see you be able to come home, and to play a game like at the University of Michigan, like that's a big deal.
Yeah.
And I think that it will be as advertised. I mean, you probably get some good screen time if you come back for that. That'd be pretty sweet.
Yeah.
And then all your family can come and see you without having to get on a flight for, 11 hours?
Yeah, it's like 10 hours, 9.5 hours.
9.5 hours of flying to go and see you. But no, I think it's you're doing it for, and I'm not saying that's your why, but there's also another reason, like you owe it to the people back home to be able to do this, and to your family for the sacrifice that they've made, to let them know like this was worth it. Like all this like sacrifice, like think about how you felt when you first moved here. You couldn't speak a lick of English. You didn't know anyone. You missed your family, and look at you now, and there's a freaking game going to happen in Germany. Like that's insane.
I think that's God right there. Yeah. You know, yeah, like you were saying, like it's really giving back, and that's what it's been about for me. And there's so many plans that I have, what I want to do whenever I have, the financial ability to do all that stuff here in a couple of years. Probably talking to Mac, maybe opening a Valor Europe.
This is the second time you've been shouted out, Mac. If you listen to this, we're going to tell you to listen to this.
You better be listening.
And you're going to get something going, all right?
But yeah, so like I think it's just such an incredible opportunity to give back. And even if I'm not playing in the game, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't want to speak about it. But for Michigan to have a game, I'll tell you what, I don't remember the last time that I had that many Instagram DMs. I mean, my phone was blowing up. You say, "Oh, like this for real? Like you coming over here?" I'm like, "Michigan is, yeah, and hopefully I am too." Hearing from people that I haven't heard of.
You're like, bro, that's 2026, dude. We still haven't even gotten 2025.
Yeah, let me play this season.
Exactly.
And, let me win 17 games here and win a championship
this year. Yeah.
But yeah, what an opportunity for Michigan, and that really just shows you what the Block M means. For people to text me, hey, like Michigan is coming, like are you coming? All that stuff, like people, like the Block M is such a huge brand
for sure.
Such an icon that like everybody just knows about it. Like people that they're not the biggest college football fans.
Yeah.
But they're gonna go or try to go to a Michigan football game just for the experience. Yeah. To get that experience, just to say, hey, I went to the Michigan football game in Germany. Yeah. Like that opportunity is just it's gonna be such an amazing deal for the university, for the game itself, for the game of football, and really just continue to grow and spread the word. And the sport itself. Yeah.
No, I mean, super cool. We wanted to touch on that, obviously, because you're the kind of the focal point of that. But bringing it back, kind of bringing it to present day right now, kind of what we're doing. We just finished up our summer workouts yesterday. We had our conditioning test yesterday. Did crush that, did really good. So we were super, super happy with how we did this summer as a team, where we were able to grow as far as the muscle mass, the body fat droppage. All of our times and speed work have gone up, so we're looking in peak shape right now. But kind of transitioning to camp. How are you feeling for this camp? What's your thought process going into camp? And in my personal opinion, I've never been in a hotel to stay for camp, so I'm a little bit like, oh shit, this is pretty real. So I've never done this. I'm excited to get this experience, and I kind of have a different perspective because it's my last year. This is kind of my last, like everything is my last spring ball, last summer workout cycle, and it flies by. So I'm not taking anything for granted. I'm fired up and again, super excited to be able to get going this fall camp. But how are you getting ready for fall camp? What are you doing in the days to come? I know it's probably a little bit of relaxing. Our days are going to be pretty busy, but how are you feeling going into camp?
Yeah, I mean, I feel as excited and as good as ever. Really just taking over that leadership, kind of getting more into that leadership role, being the older guy now in the room with Brady, Max Bredesen for y'all. But yeah, like I'm just so excited to get going here soon. Yeah. Because that means football. Spring when you're in spring ball, it's kind of like you're playing football, but like there's summer and then there's another training camp before the season. Like we're about to get into this, and then the season's here for sure. So for me, it's really just becoming the best tight end in the country. Yeah. Not like I said earlier, like not for myself, but for this team and help this team win. really just like growing, building that brotherhood, especially with the freshmen that just came in that have been here for a couple weeks now, a couple months, and really just continue to grow. As myself, as our team, spending as much time as possible, which we will be doing.
Yeah, we will.
And I guess one of those hotel deals helps us as well. We'll be around each other for about 24 hours.
Okay.
Depending on who your roommate is. But it's gonna be so much fun. It's gonna be a grind. But you just gotta remind yourself it's football, and like
for sure
you don't have to do that. Like you get to do that stuff, and that's one of the things that Coach Kasula has like really been telling us ever since he got here. You're gonna be tired. You don't want to do something, and then that little voice is in your head, like creeping around. Like, bro, you don't really like just don't do it. Like, don't go as hard. Like you have to do that. You have to you get to do that because 100%. I can tell you, I can make 50,000 phone calls overseas to Germany, and all 50,000 people would tell me that they would come here and do that.
They would die to do it, yeah.
So it's like we're so fortunate enough to be here. So just get rid of that, creepy voice that's lingering around your head.
Yeah.
And just remind yourself that like you get to do that. It's fun. Like you get to play football, and it's the best thing on earth.
Yeah, I mean, as far as, and I agree with that completely, and the message has been the same in the quarterback room and in all the other rooms, and as a team, we're kind of on the same page with that. Is the perspective that we have is that we get to do this, and we're blessed to be in this position, and we're hungry as well. So we're a very highly motivated team coming into this year. I got my own personal motivation coming from a different team prior, but I know the guys coming back from last year are super excited to have another opportunity at this because that wasn't the standard of what they wanted last year, and we've kind of hit on that. But last year is last year. We're focused on the present. I promise this will be behind the scenes peek, so we're going to get out of the football mindset a little bit, talk about what we like to do outside of the game, and then we'll kind of wrap up the episode. So Marlon, what, and I know the answers to this, so you better answer honestly or I'm going to out you. So on an off day, say like a Sunday, what do you like to do? Like, what are you doing when you wake up? Give us like your Sunday schedule.
Really just started off with waking up. First of all, it depends. If it's during the season, during the summer, whenever it is. But like right now, obviously coming out of the summer,
we'll go with summer. Season's very different.
Yeah, season is really like
not an off
not
day.
Much. It's not an off day. Preparing for the next week.
Yeah.
So for the summer, it's waking up, ordering my breakfast to go at Benny's. Calling Mikey, pick it up on the way from my house. We'll go to the church. Shout out to 242 Church here in Ann Arbor, and really just finding that church was such a huge deal for me to really be able to, continue my spiritual practices. And then when you moved here, taking you there, and we've been going ever since. Yep. Seeing Justice Haynes, Alabama transfer running back, who's going to be playing a vital role to our team this year. But I think one of the biggest things that makes me happy each and every single Sunday when I go is every week you see more and more guys. Yep. And by more and more guys, I'm not talking about just regular people from Ann Arbor. I'm talking about teammates that I didn't know. They were Christian or Catholic or whatever they are. I had no clue about. But they'll show up to church and I'm like, hey, like, what are you doing? It's so good to see you. Like, what are you doing here? And, I needed something. I needed to find a church. Like, I needed to clear my mind. I needed, I'm dealing with this, and this. And it makes me happy, seeing those guys and that bond and God bringing us all together off the field and not just within the facility. So that's one of the biggest things for me, and that's pretty much like the biggest part of my Sunday. And then we'll go home and hang out for a while, and it depends. Like we'll go fishing here and there. We'll go play golf, and really just hang out. Probably cook some steaks at night. Yep. And getting ready for another week.
Yep. So. Yeah, no, I mean it's nice to have a little Sunday reset, laundry, all that different stuff. I mean, I'm with this guy for most of the day, but then once I go home, usually do the same type of stuff. Get a little laundry in, clean up around the house, but it's nice to have that little separation that you have whenever you whenever you want to get a little escape from football, because I mean it can consume you, and you never want it to feel like overwhelming or anything, because obviously it's a great sport to be in and a great problem, I'll say air quotes, to have, because it's not really a problem, but it can be a lot for some people. And then whether it's going for a drive or shoot, I like going, I'll tell the whole truth, I like going to Ross, Dress for Less. I'll go do some shopping, check out, see some deals, go to TJ Maxx, Target, all that stuff. So I like doing things like that. And then just hanging out with my buddies. He's got some cool roommates with Jimmy Rolder, Bryce Wilcox, and Logan Forbes. We'll kick it, and then we got a nice little Blackstone that they got from a bowl game, I'm pretty sure. Cook some steaks on Sunday and just kind of relax. So yeah, that's really what you try and do, and every guy has their own hobbies that they like to do on their off days or things like that. But giving a little insight on what we like to do. But no, I feel like it's been a great job, or a great time getting to know you on a deeper level. I know we're buddies, and kind of that story was, I've heard some of it, but I also learned a lot today from you that I did not know. And just getting to talk on a deeper level and show the fans that you really give a shit about this, because, dude, he left his whole family. They are all back home in Germany, and he did this by himself, and he really gives a shit about this place and cares. So on any given Saturday, when you see 17 out there doing his thing, just know that this really means a lot to him, and he's doing everything that he can for this team. So Marlon, appreciate you coming out. If there's anything else that you want to say, any shout-outs or anything, you can have the floor, and then we'll close it out after.
No, I mean, shout out Champ Media.
Yeah,
I think that's one of the only shout-outs that I will be given. But appreciate you for having me on this show, especially on this first episode here. But yeah, I think one message to Michigan, the Michigan fans out there, it's really just continue to do whatever you do each and every single Saturday. Come support us. It's going to be one hell of a year for us. And by us, I don't just talk about our team, but for Ann Arbor, for the University of Michigan. And yeah, that's it. Go Blue.
Yep, go Blue. Appreciate you being on the show. Marlin Klein, number 17. Be sure to check him out on Saturdays this year. Prime for a big year, starting tight end, and go Blue. Thank you, guys.